Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We'll talk about sort of a touchy subject here on YouTube. So hopefully I should be able to speak about it. There are other channels out there and people can talk about all this kind of stuff, and it should be spoken of. It should be talked about, discussed. You know, a lot of bad things happen to kids. You know, and it totally, it blows. Like, in my eyes, children are the only true innocents amongst us, or among us rather, right? You know, they're not able to defend themselves, they're not able to really take care of themselves, they're dependent upon an adult, at least one adult, some adult, to take care of them, to feed them, to clothe them, hopefully nurture them and love them, and exemplify right from wrong, you know, in a multitude of ways, one would hope. But still, things happen to children, man, because sometimes it happens because somebody's asleep at the wheel somewhere and they're not paying attention to what's going on. Or sometimes it happens because somebody gets themselves another adult in a position of trust, weasels their way in, and that becomes an entire component to their predatory nature, you know. And other times it's just, you know, somebody's in the wrong place at the wrong time and cross paths with a monster, you know, a sicko, which in a lot of ways, in my opinion, it looks like they're trying to normalize some of this behavior. But don't fret. It's not the majority of people that think this way. It's not the majority of people that believe that this kind of shit is okay. It's not. It's a minority. It's a minority. And that's all it takes. If there's an agenda, you know, well. At any rate, this story concerns a once 8-year-old little boy. 8-year-old little boy who was, I don't even know what language you can use on here without triggering something, who was taken advantage of, victimized by an older male, by a grown man. And not only did the grown man abuse this little boy, but then tried to drown him afterwards. And this little boy, through some miraculous intervention, managed to get away and save his life. So fast forward to today, okay? As a grown man, okay, that was over 40 years ago that happened. So now, as a grown man, this is a man who is a troubled man. This is a man who has had his fair share of issues, and we all have issues, and we all think that they're serious to us. You know, they're an impingement upon our lives and our progression. But something like this, you know, I can't imagine what it must be to have to try to move onward, you know, with something like this in the back. So this man grew up to be a good man, but a very troubled man, not a very happy man, but a good man. And also happened to be that he grew up to be a big dude, a big, strong dude, not a big, fat, sloppy, typical U.S. man in that age group. No, a naturally thick, muscular, strong man, strong all of his life. And maybe this had something to do with that, you know, a component of it besides genetics, you know. But And he can throw hands. He's a man that can take care of himself very well, without any question. Nobody is trying to physically take advantage of this human being as a man now. No. That this man's, to look at this man doesn't qualify as a victim to any of these predators that are out there in any regard. That's not the guy. It's not a guy they would choose. They would let that guy pass by. They're not going to purposely set out and say, okay, that looks like a good target. No, he's not. He's the kind of man that, like I said, strong, muscular, tough, mentally tough, emotionally tough guy with a lot of scars on his soul and on his body physically. So guess what? Of all things, of all people he should run into now, 40 some years later, he runs into this monster that victimized that small, vulnerable, innocent 8-year-old version of himself. He ran across this fucking guy. He ran across this guy. And the outcome wasn't, I'd say the outcome was good overall. As far as, any sense of universal justice, I would say it falls far, far short of what is truly just. So I would say that even in that, what he dished out to this son of a bitch was only a fraction of what the bastard really had coming to him. He approached him, he identified himself. You remember me, he told him who he was. And the guy looked at him all gasped, and he stretched him out. He stretched him out, he knocked his ass down. And there were a lot of people around. It was a public place. It started to create a scene and some problems, and some other people this guy was with, family. And he got up and told the family what this son of a bitch did to him when he was 8 years old. And then he got the fuck up out of there. So, you can disagree all you like. You know what I mean? You can fault me for it and say I'm wrong and every other thing. You're entitled to your opinion. That's something we don't allow people anymore in this country. We think that nobody can have their own opinion if it's other than what our opinion is. My opinion is that son of a bitch had that coming. He had every bit of that coming, and he had worse coming. And the one thing that this kind man, who was my friend, who was my brother, the one thing that he did, he dispensed this small retribution with mercy. And he refrained from really doing this guy any serious harm, any real harm. And that's something that this piece of shit certainly did not consider or afford that little 8-year-old boy. So, sometimes karma, while it may fall short, sometimes it does come around a little bit once in a while. Have a great day.